Okay, so I'm sitting here working on a new gratitude journal, and I realized that the past couple of days since I started working on this journal, the Lord has really been doing some interesting things. And I'm not sure how to interpret it just yet, but we'll see. So the day that I started this journal, I received an email wanting somebody wanting me to speak on their podcast. And then I received, I was yesterday on Wednesday, I was at church and somebody came up to me and was just like, "Hey, I heard you were an author. I saw your post on Facebook." And I'm thinking to myself, I don't even know how this lady saw my post on Facebook because I don't even know this lady. So that's interesting. And so I'm like, and she wants me to help her become an author. And she wrote a book, which is based off of her testimony. And she wants me to help her be an author. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, what? How is this happening? So maybe the Lord just wants me to focus on creating the different books and stuff. I don't know, because as soon as I start doing this, like, people will come and start reaching out to me, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm supposed to take a hint right now. Instead of trying to like look for people, I just should do the thing and people will come to me. I don't know. But it's hard because on social media, I'm like, well, what do I share? What do I talk about? Do I talk about what I'm doing, what I'm creating? Or do I talk about, the thing that I've created, like the course or the coaching or whatever? And I'm like, I don't know. That's what makes it so confusing, because as soon as I start talking about the course that I created, I get crickets. So maybe that should be a big hint to me, like, hello, McFly. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's what I need to do. So I'm just trying to figure it all out right now. And, just, it's being in business for yourself is really a journey, and it's really not a business for myself, because what I want to do is serve the people that God created me to serve. Like, this isn't supposed to be like this selfish thing. Yes, I totally want to make some money. The purpose of it is to make money, but it's also kind of twofold where, yes, I want to make money, but I want to help people achieve the same results that I've achieved, and become an author or write their first book, and or even write their testimony. Like, that to me, like, that is so important and so major, because I know what writing has done for me. Like, if I'm not coaching somebody on how to write a book, I'm coaching somebody on how to publish their book. And so I have experience in both writing and publishing. And I really want to help people achieve that goal, because writing has been such a gift to me. Like, God has given that to me. And it's helped me through a lot of tough times. And if I didn't have writing, I wouldn't have made it through all of the terrible things that went on in my life. Like, I would have had a completely different life. But before I knew God, he was working in my life way before I knew him. Like, my grandma was a praying grandma. She was the only one that I knew that was a Christian. And now I'm like, well, she's not around anymore. But when I did get saved, like 14 years ago, I just, like, even back then, like, God knew. Like, the day, like the week, 2 weeks before I got saved, or maybe it was like a week before I got saved or something, I went and I saw a psychic. I had just had a baby. Maybe she was a week old or something. I don't even know. She was so little. And I just had this baby. And my mom was waiting in the hallway with my daughter, my oldest daughter, and my baby. And I went into this room. I'd never seen a psychic before. Like, this was like I had always, like, people always came to me for advice. Like, I used to do like tarot readings and all this stuff. And people used to come to me, but I've never actually like gone to a psychic before. And so I went in there, right, expecting her, because I wasn't a believer at this time. I was still like Wiccan, and I was like trying to like do my own thing and control my own life. Yeah, I was totally, my life was out of control when I was trying to control it. It was terrible. But like, seriously, when I went in there, she started talking about God. And I was just like, what is this lady like? Why is she even talking about God? Like, I don't even believe in God. So what is this? You know, like, this is so weird. But like, even back then, the Lord knew. And then literally like a week later, maybe, or maybe even a couple days later, the people from Choices of the Heart came to my house. It's a pregnancy resource center. And they came to my house. I prayed the sinner's prayer. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just go to church, because and maybe I'll meet my future husband there or something. Like, I don't know. Like, I was just so lost. Like, I was like, I keep doing the same thing over and over again. Maybe I should just, you know, do something different and go to church. Like, maybe that'll work. I don't know. But like, my life was just in a roller coaster, and I was an unwed mom, and I just, you know, it was just a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, I don't even know how I got off on that tangent, but anyway, so God helped me, has used writing to help me get through all of the junk that I've been through. And so, yeah, I don't even know how I got onto my testimony, but anyway, writing has just been a huge thing in my life. And I want to share that with other people, whether it's publishing their first book, their children's book, or writing their testimony and learning how to share it with others, and even publishing it as a book, because our testimonies are powerful. And it's just something that is so important to share. And when we become an author, there is power in our words. Like, in the Bible, it says there is life and death in the power of the tongue. Choose life, right? So when we speak, we are like forming our lives, the way we think, because when we speak, we hear, and then it gets into our brains and gets into our hearts and then gets into our actions. So we need to be really careful what we say. But when we write things down, even if it's terrible and it's dark and it's really hard to write, because I've written some really horrible, you know, dark stuff, because I went through a lot of bad things. And so my writing as a child was a lot darker than it is now. Now it's not. But like, we become an author. We become an authority over those thoughts and those feelings, because when we write, new neurological pathways form, which is really cool. I know it's like really sciencey. I love biology. I'm like so into our bodies and how we can naturally heal our bodies and all sorts of things. But anyway, I'm not going to go off on that. But the word author actually means, what does it mean? The word author comes from the Latin word auctorum, which means master, founder, leader. And right there, Jesus was the author and finisher of our faith, right? And people say, oh, what would Jesus do? Well, he would be an author. He was an author. He told stories all the time. He reached people through parables. He wasn't like, oh, you're going to be a believer. You're going to believe, or whatever. No, he didn't like pound on people's door and tell them that they needed to go and believe in God. No, he told stories. And so in order for us to reach other people, we need to tell stories too. And whether that's, a Christian story or a non-Christian story, either way. Anyway, I'm getting so sidetracked. I'm very passionate about this. Can you tell? But anyway, so writing helps us to take each thought captive. Okay. if you are struggling with swirling things in your brain and you're like, I'm just so overwhelmed and I'm so stressed out and da 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 da, like, write. Just sit down and write and say, thank you, God. Even if it's literally like some nights I don't have a lot of time. I have to go to bed. It's late. I just got the kids to bed at like 10:30 or something. That's like a rare occasion. But if it's late like that, I got to get to bed and I only have like a minute. So I literally will write, thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for something. I love you, God. That's it. Like literally so quick. But those moments of thankfulness are super important. And so that's why I'm doing this gratitude journal. And I am just trying to help people just be more positive and focus on things that are good. And writing is huge in healing. It is so healing. A lot of people don't like to write, and some people like to draw. And so you can heal through art. Just by creating something. People create things with their hands when they form pottery, or they knit. There's so many things that can help us. Everybody needs to have a creative outlet, but that's because God created us to be creative. The first thing he tells us about himself is that he was creative. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, right? So we are naturally creative beings because he created us in his image, right? So I hope that this blesses you in some way. I really, being in business right now is just a journey. And if you're on a business journey and you're trying to figure out your path as a business person, or you're just interested in my journey as a business owner, I hope this encourages you. Until next time, keep scribbling.